Yes, people, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and this tactic has been highly requested over on my Twitch streams. So it's the 3-4-2-1 we've been using with Wigan Athletic. So without further ado, let's not waste no time and let's get straight into the tactic right now. And as you can see, we have a 3-4-2-1 with no wide players, 2 number 10s. We do not have wing backs, we actually have wingers, or well, different type of roles, so you'll find out anyways. But people, if you cannot be bothered to watch this video and you just want to download this video instead of creating the tactic yourself, you can sign up to my Patreon right now, where all my tactics and all the save files I've ever done on Twitch are available for you to download straight away. If you stay signed up to the Patreon, every tactic I create will be uploaded here for you to download. And as you can see, the 3-4-2-1 as well as the Wigan save file, so you can try and make Wigan better than I've made them using my exact tactic and save file. Or you can download the Mandem save file, which had Manny, the real Kofi B, RDF tactics and Wolfie all involved, and the tactic I used in that save, as well as all the other saves I have done on Twitch. So make sure you guys are checking out the Patreon. The link is in the description right now. But for those who don't want to spend some money, here is the tactic. We're going to break down exactly what I have done and why I have done certain player roles, as well as certain player instructions. So make sure you guys are there and are listening. Let's get straight into it right now. 4-2 away from home at the Etihad, and yes, Erling Haaland was playing. But it doesn't matter, we smashed Man City. Champions League knockout round, we beat Leipzig 5-0 in the first leg away from home. Then they came to the DW Stadium where we beat them 4-0. A 9-0 aggregate scoreline is insane. Beating Arsenal 2-0 at the Emirates whilst picking up a clean sheet. And this Arsenal squad is a god squad, guys. And how can I forget, we smashed Liverpool at Anfield 6-1. If you play Football Manager, then you know, even if you watch football, you know how hard it is to beat Liverpool at Anfield. It did not matter. This tactic absolutely ripped Liverpool apart. At the current moment, this is how we are doing in the save. We are 3rd in the Premier League, 3 points off top of the Prem, Tottenham and Man City ahead of us. In the Champions League, we are in the knockout rounds versus AS Monaco. FA Cup, we're facing Man City. We lost to Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup because I tried to rotate the team, and then we won the Community Shield as well. So make sure if you want to download a save, then go check the Patreon and get playing at this exact point that I'm at right now. But we have to watch this decimation against Liverpool so you guys can see exactly how these team goals are happening. Let's get into it. First up, Liverpool scored the first goal. I think it's Darwin Núñez scoring. They're on the ball doing what they need to do. It's fine. We're not complaining. Max Aarons. And then he puts it in the mixer, and Cody Gakpo back over Núñez, out jumps our centre backs. Right, then the boys get absolutely annoyed, and here it is. Eli Wahi, whatever his name is, finds Pafandi to Rigo, and it's 1-1. Let's go. Pratty finds Shotard, loses the ball, but good press, win that. Pafandi, good goal, man. And they can't hack our players in the middle at the moment, as you can see. Now out of the back, Shotard finds Pafandi, Wahi, and it's another goal. 3-1 to Wigan Athletic. Now, playing out from the back again, you can see Shotard having a great game. There you go, Rigo and Wahi scores again. You can see we're penetrating that middle at the moment. From the wide, didn't work out, but Batkade to Pafandi, and Pafandi slots it home. And now for the final goal, throw in, throw on, Kade puts it in, João Rigo touched Pafandi, and Pafandi with a tap in, or good shot. And that is 3-1, 6-1, sorry. Pafandi with a hat-trick, Rigo with 1 goal, and Eli Wahi to our front 3, picking up all 6 goals. Right, let's get into the tactic. But before we get into the tactic, guys, YouTube have told me that 80% of you guys are not subscribed. Guys, we're on the road to 20,000. We're on about 18,700. A lot of you guys enjoy the content clearly, so please, one time for me right now, can you hit the subscribe button as well as a like button and comment? Let me know what other type of videos you'd like to see, as Football Manager 25 has been cancelled, and we will not stop the Football Manager content. But let's not wasting time. Let's get straight into the tactic, man. Right, and starting off, we have a goalkeeper, Mamadashvili. He is a sweeper keeper on support. So obviously we are playing a higher line, so we need the keeper to essentially support. I did think about using a goalkeeper, standard one, but I feel like a sweeper keeper worked a lot better. Now for our back three and centre backs. I found it very hard to make a back three work in Football Manager. So I'm very happy that this one did actually work. And we've actually gone with basically all three positions that you would think of, or all three player roles, I should say. We've gone with a ball playing defender on the left. He has no further instructions. He is just on defend. We've gone with a central defender in the middle on defend. And if you've guessed right, it is a wide centre back on defend who essentially kind of help with the width, as well as the ball playing defender kind of does the same thing anyways. Usually I would opt to go with two ball playing defenders on either side, but I don't think that's worked. So I've decided to actually keep it with a wide centre back. He kind of gets a bit further forward into these areas, whilst these two essentially act like a back two. So it kind of does work well in terms of a balance, because these are like a back two whilst he's pushing up, but then he can obviously step into this position as well and does like to fly down and put crosses in. It's a madness, you'll see anyways. But the wide centre back has tackle harder on his player instructions.
Baby.
Right, now for the two defensive midfielders, they are not centre mids, they are defensive midfielders. Now I'll show you guys what we are using. We are using two defensive midfielders on support, and they are both told to hold position and tackle harder. However, people, there are certain times when you are going for the game and you want to cause an overload in the midfield as well as an overload in the box. So sometimes when I was chasing a game, what I would do is change these defensive midfielders. I would switch them to segundo volantes on support or attack, so they would get forward and help the line, especially when we're playing a team we should be beating, but maybe they're playing a low block and we're not really getting the luck of the green. So I'm changing them to segundo volantes so they can get into the box and cause havoc for the midfielders as well as the defenders. Like I'm saying, it's when you are chasing the game. You might want to use it early on. Personally, I like what I have here. It's very defensively solid. If you know about modern football, tacticos and all of that, they like to have a 3-2-5, and essentially this is a 3-2, and these wingers or wing backs, whatever you want to call them, get forward, essentially creating the 5 in attack. And these 5 cover all of the lanes, they call it. There's like 1 lane here, 2 lanes, 3 lanes, 4 and 5 lanes. So it covers every basis of what modern tactics should do. So that is why the 3-2-4-1 or the 3-4-2-1 works quite well. But anyways, like I'm saying, if you're chasing the game, then you can go with that. However, make sure these players are holding their position, because you need the players to be at the base, whilst these centre backs are able to essentially spread and create angles to make triangles and passes. So you'll see a lot of the times, centre back has the ball, he passes to the DM passes back to the middle centre half, he passes over here or switches it out there, etc., etc. So it's always given the player on the ball options. That's the one thing about this tactic. Right, now we are looking at these infamous wing backs, wingers, whatever you want to call them. I use 2 different player roles for this. First one being defensive wingers on support with the instructions: cross from the byline and get further forward. This exact same thing on the other side. However, when I am a team that is much better than the opposition, because I have different players who can play this role. For example, I use Harvey Elliott in this role. Let's have a look at Harvey Elliott. He has learned to play this role, but we use Harvey Elliott as a wide playmaker on attack or support. So it's the same thing I use on both wing backs. If we are a team who dominate, well, we do usually dominate the ball, but if we are a team and facing a team that are not very good, we want to be on the front foot creating a lot of chances, especially because we think they will usually be playing in a low block. So we want the wide playmakers to act as the wing backs instead of defensive wing backs. So against the better teams, I would recommend the defensive wing backs on support or potentially defend. But against the smaller teams that you should be beating, especially when using a very good side, you can go with wide playmakers on support. But those players are like wingers. Another thing you can use as well is wingers. So sometimes I would go with Lopez because of his actual position. What he was a winger when I signed him, but we've turned him into a defensive winger. Lopez would be a winger on attack on this side, whilst Harvey Elliott would be a wide playmaker on support. Kind of creating a balance where he would bomb forward, whilst Harvey Elliott would be in and around the middle, kind of controlling the tempo, getting involved, and creating passes and different angles to get these players running in. Anyways, we move on to the next positions, the two number 10s, and they are both attacking midfielders on attack. Both of their instructions are roam from position, move into the channels, tackle harder, and mark tighter. Essentially, I want them to move into the channels because these are the channels. So wherever the ball is, they can obviously try and create an angle instead of being very stationary. I want them to roam from position as this causes havoc against opposition. As you've seen in the highlights against Liverpool, we saw João Rigo and Profundi making that little run into where the striker's going, as well as into the other side of the striker. That way, the players were actually causing a lot of havoc for the defenders. The defenders didn't really know who to mark, where to be, and this is probably because of the roam from position and moving to channels. So that is the thought process behind that. Sometimes I did change these attacking midfielders on attack to support when I could visibly see that they weren't getting enough of the ball. They were too high up and I need them to drop in to essentially help the team to build up, because the opposition maybe were playing a lot of midfielders, so blocking the chances of these players actually getting the ball. And then finally, we have an advanced forward up front, and we have told him to shoot more often as well as tackle harder. The thing with the advanced forward always is, the advanced forward, why I like it so much, is because he's not really a stationary striker. He moves around. He's obviously moving to the left and right, and he likes to chase balls, as I believe it says. Look, if we go to advanced forward, we can see it says down here that his secondary role is to chase down misplaced through balls or clearances from deep, win possession, lay off passes and crosses to his teammates. So these attacking midfielders will get into the box, whilst Wahai will be trying to play passes to them, as well as chasing the dead through balls that some of our players have attempted, causing the opposition to think fast and maybe clear it quick. Then our players can get the ball back and the opportunity keeps going again. So that is really it in terms of the player roles. Now we move into the mentality. Mentality, when I first started off with this tactic, I started with attacking. I felt like the attacking didn't work so much, so I decided to switch it to positive. Positive was still decent, but then balance was the one I finally left with and decided to go with balance. And that is actually what helped us to win the Premier League in the previous season before. So balanced mentality is what I would recommend. If you are chasing a game, then obviously attacking, very attacking, is just up to you really. So in possession, we have gone with standard width, depending on what the opposition's playing. So if the opposition's playing a 4-2-2 or something, where it's very narrow, or they're playing narrow players, then you might want to go with attacking width wide and maybe focus the play down the left and right. So that way you're more focused on the wide players getting the ball instead of in the central areas. It all just depends on who you're facing. Sometimes you need to tinker and tanker against different opposition. Right, and then we've gone with hit early crosses, sometimes work the ball into the box, but it just depends once again on opposition. Final third, low crosses, play for set pieces. If you do not have a set piece demon, if you do not have tall players, because I have I have Lenny Euro, who's a very good heading threat, 6'3" as you can see. He has good heading, good jumping reach, and good bravery. So Lenny Euro gets on the end of those. Sir Marcus Rashford, same thing with him, jumping reach 17, heading 14, bravery 18. So he gets on headers as well. And then I believe Owen Latino, 6 foot. No, it's not him. It is Sutello right here. Sutello, 6'6", bravery 16, heading 14, and jumping reach 16. So he's another one who, depending on if they're on the pitch, then I'm playing for set pieces. As well as one more person, the Mayor Tiknas, 6'4", jumping reach 16, bravery 13, and heading 11. Not the best, but we play for set pieces when he is on the pitch as well, just in case of creating those set piece chances where they can score goals. But we go to be more expressive and also run at defense. I want my players to run at the opposition, causing havoc. Right, in transition, we've gone with a counter press, counter, distribute quickly, and take short kicks. And then finally, out of possession, we've gone with a high press, higher defensive line, trigger press much more often, and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. I did also use get stuck in but in certain games, I was getting a lot of yellow cards, and I think a few red cards, so I took it off. So depending on your situation in the season, then you can put that on, but I did actually take that off, and I think it's good if you guys leave it off. If needs be, turn it on in specific games to make sure that you're getting stuck in and your players are winning opportunities. But guys, that has been the video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like. Make sure you subscribe as we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. And make sure you comment. Let me know what you enjoyed about this video and what you might change in this tactic to essentially make it more effective. But make sure you're checking out this video right here where I show you guys how you can create yourself in Football Manager as a wonder kid or a world-class player.